Hi, today we're going to work on day 9, Trig application part 1. I'm just going to go through 2 of the 4 problems on the Trig application, and then of course you guys can practice on the homework. We're going to have 2 days worth of this, so I'm just going to go through the first 2 and then the homework and then another 2 examples for the part 2. Okay, so the following graph represents the average temperature in Buffalo, New York over the course of a year, starting in March. What are some character traits that you notice about the graph? All right, so we want to look to see when is the max temperature. You're going to see that the max temperature right here is 70 degrees. We have our min temp right here. You go over. The min temp is 10 degrees. Is this sine or cosine? You can see right here that you're going to be going up, moving back down, hitting 0 again, moving this right here. Here are your 3 points right there. I know a lot of you guys think sine starts at 0 and ends at 0, which is true, but this right here, there was a transformation which shifted this up, and we'll talk about that, 40. So you're going to see if it was, and sometimes it's easier to focus in on the midline first. And the midline, you guys can see right here, is at 40. So we're starting at the midline, going back down. This right here is when y is equal to 40. So our midline is about 40 degrees. Okay, so this is sine right here. And again, a lot of kids want to say that the amplitude is going to be the highest point, which is at 70. But that right here, we have sine. We're going to start at 0. We're going to go up and back down again. Right about here, back down and back down here and back up again. Something like this right here, okay? So you guys can see right here that the highest point is actually 30, and when you move it up 40 degrees, you'll be at 70. So you start at 0, you move this up 40, you're at 30, you're going to move this up 40. So our amplitude is going to be 30. And the period right here is going to be how many weeks. You can see that we have 52 weeks. And our frequency is our period, is the 360 divided by the period, which is the 52. So you're going to have 360 divided by 52. Or you guys can do 2 pi divided by 52. That's up to you, okay? So possible equations, remember this is going to be y equals, we have the amplitude, sine or cosine, the frequency, and then of course you have the midline. So our amplitude is 30. We know that this is sine. We have a frequency of 2 pi over 52x with a midline of plus 40. Okay, some real life application problems that you'll see with sine or cosine. Obviously you just seen temperature. That could be one. Some other possible would be music. You'll see when you do the notes of the bass, they'll go up and down in a constant cycle. Watermill. Ferris wheel. Okay, so those are some real life applications that you will see this continuous cycle moving. All right, so we have this second situation here. Example number 2 that we're going to do. This right here, we are already given the equation, which is nice, and we're just going to be answering some questions based on this. So according to the equation, what is the average volume of air in a person's lungs? We're going to be looking at the midline. You guys here, you know that this is my amplitude, this is my frequency, and this right here is the midline. So we know that the midline right here would be 30, and we're talking milliliters. Okay, max and min, you guys always have to remember that your max and the mid is the midline plus the amplitude for the max, and for the min, it's the midline minus the amplitude. Okay, so we have our midline for our max. It's going to be 30 plus the amplitude. My amplitude is 18, so we have 30 plus 18, and that's going to give me 48. And my min, that's going to be my midline, which is 30, and we're going to go ahead and subtract the amplitude, which is going to be 18, and we're going to get 12 for the max and the min. Okay, how quickly is the person breathing? You want to find the period right here. So to find the period, I'm going to move over here for C, not enough space here, but we're going to do the 360 divided by the frequency. My frequency is 4 pi. I'm going to actually, because this is in pi, I'm going to change this to 360 to pi. So it's going to be 2 pi over 4 pi. This is going to cancel out, and you're left with 2 over 4, which is equal to 1/2. Okay. I think we'll do one more example number 2. So example number 2, we're going to be talking about the Ferris wheel here, and it says, what is the length of time for one full rotation of the Ferris wheel? Remember to determine the period with units. Okay, so my frequency right here is 2 pi over 7, and to find the period, you're going to go ahead and do 2 pi divided by, remember that's 360 to find that, divided by your frequency, which is 2 pi over 7. And you're going to get 7 minutes. Okay, and if you want to see this right here, I'll do this, 2 pi divided by 2 pi over 7. Remember, we multiply by the reciprocal, so you have 2 pi times 7 over 2 pi, and that's going to cancel out and just give us 7. The next one here, we're going to be talking about the max, and remember your max, you're going to go ahead and do the midline plus my amplitude. Okay, so my midline is 80 plus the amplitude, which is 70, and that's going to give us 150 feet. Okay, so the max would be 150. And how high above the ground will the riding car be with the passenger? You're going to assume they enter when the car is at the bottom. So when you're talking about the car at the bottom right here, you're talking about the min. This is the max. So the mid would be the midline minus the amplitude. So we have 80 minus 70, and we're going to assume that that'll be 10 feet off the ground. Okay, if you have any questions, please let me know. Have a wonderful day.